Repeat chemisters, this is Mrs. Vanderwaaij continuing on in section 10.3. This chart is actually a really nice summary of 10.2 and 10.3. What we're trying to do is show you what happens when you have the no lone pairs and the effect of when you put lone pairs in. This chart is something that you really need to commit to memory, but I don't memorize. You know me, I've said it enough. I visualize. So if I can sketch it, I can pretty much come up with its shape name. If you can't visualize, if you're not one of those visual learners, then sit down and just memorize it, make up flashcards, do what you need to. But you do need to know this shape. So my goal here is to maybe start you off, do a couple of these with you, have you do a few more, come back, and I'll do a few more with you. So let's begin. If I have two electron groups, by the way, that's what EG stands for, is electron groups. BG, you might want to write this down, is bonding groups. LP, you probably recognize as lone pair. Electron geometry is based only on the electron group. Isn't that clever how it's both EG? So electron geometry is the geometry of just the electron groups. Your 5 basic shapes. Your molecular geometry is based on the electron group and the lone pair. Your bond angle, and then sketch it. To me, sketching it is probably the most important because from there you can decide what it looks like. So if we have electron groups of 2, we have the bonding groups 2. It's the only one we have in this case, so 0 lone pair. The electron geometry, do you remember what we said 2 points determine? A line, it's linear. And notice if you have 0 lone pairs, it's going to be the same geometry. Bond angle of linear is always 180. Now, if you look at the notes from 10.3 so far, we did not do any of those. Okay, so I'm going to, because probably when I made out this chart, I probably should have put an extra space in for the 3s. That if we have 3 and 0, it's going to be trigonal planar, and just like we showed you earlier. So let's kind of see what happens when we have 2 and 1. So again, notice that these 2 will add up to the electron group always. Well, what is my basic shape of 3? 3 points determine a plane. Do you remember that? So with your pencil, hopefully you used a pencil here, what happens when I have 1 lone pair? What did we do in the last video? We erased one of these. Okay, what does that look like to you if you did it neater than me? We've seen that shape already, do you remember? The electron is a trigonal planar. That was your original, but here is when I added my lone pair. So what does that look like? Hopefully you recognize it as bent. So it's about 120, probably just a little bit less because you have that lone pair right here pushing down on it. Okay, so what if I have 1 bonding group and 2 lone pair? Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to go back here again. If I have a 3 electron group, it's always going to be trigonal planar. But this time, what am I going to erase? Ready? Boop. Check that out. It's right here. What does it look like to you? Can you visualize it? It's linear. As you know, linear is always 180 degrees. Let me do one of these 4 with you, and then you can do the rest of it. So if it's 4 and 0, it's tetrahedral, just like before. So let's see what happens if it's 3 and 1. Well, what's my base shape? It is 4 means tetrahedral, right? And so my base shape is a tetrahedral. And what am I going to do with 1 lone pair? Take my eraser, and I'm going to do this. And what does that look like now? Well, I see a triangle coming up to a point. And so the base angle for tetrahedral is 109. But remember, these lone pairs are mushing it down. So that ends up being 107 degrees. Okay. Why don't you pause this? Do the next 2 where it would be 2 and 2 and 1 and 3. Go ahead and fill those out. come back, see how you do. All right, so as long as you have electron geometry of 4, the electron geometry is going to be tetrahedral. So like I said, see how well you visualize. So here's my tetrahedral, 2 lone pairs, I erased 3. 2 lone pairs, again, is bent. So if it starts off at 109 and I have 2 lone pairs pushing down on it, ends up being 104.5, sounds like a radio station, and this is your idea of water. And then if you have 3 lone pair, you're going to erase 3 of those, and what does that look like to you? Linear, which is 180 degrees. Okay, let's do number 5, or these 5s here. And once again, if it was 5 and 0, it'd be trigonal bipyramidal. So let's look at 4 and 1, 3 and 2, and 2 and 3. I'll do 4 and 1 with you. How's that? So my base shape, if I have this, here's my 5. And you notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, things sticking out, 4 sticks, if you will, and that's what this number is right here, and that always needs to work out. But here, what happens, I'm sorry, I haven't named that yet. This is trigonal. How many pyramids are there? I see 2 of them. Bipyramidal. So that's your basic shape for these guys. What now? Do you remember where I have to erase? I have to erase it from the middle. So I'm going to do that. And do you remember what childhood playground equipment that kind of looks like tilt your head? Do you remember that? It's a seesaw. Okay. And the degrees are going to be 90 here and 120. Oops, that's 90 and 120 here. Go ahead, pause this. Try the next 2 and come back. Okay, how'd you do? Well, let's see here. I'm going to draw this again. I'm such a visual person. I always draw it first. There's my 5. And this time I have 2 lone pairs, so I'm going to erase these guys. And what letter does this look like now? Hopefully it looks like a T to you. So it's T shape, and they're 90 degrees. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time, how many lone pair do I have? I have 3, so I'm going to erase the 3 in the middle. Whoops, I erased the whole thing, didn't I? And what are you left with? Linear. And there it's 180s. Do you notice there's a pattern for linear? When you max out your lone pairs, it's going to be linear. Now, it just so happens here, I do have enough spots to do all of them. So I'll put that down, and 6. So I need 6 spokes, don't I? So I draw my line, and then if you will, like draw an X. There's your 6 spokes. Do you remember what shape that is? Octahedral. Okay. Again, with 0 lone pairs, it's still octahedral. And what are all the angles? Every single one of them is 90 degrees. So go ahead, pause this, fill out the rest. Okay, let's see how you did. So here's my 6 spokes, and if I have 1 lone pair, I'm going to erase the bottom one because I can see that better, and that looks like square pyramidal because it comes up to a point. Do you see that? Okay, it was octahedral still, and that would still be 90 degrees. And then the next one, here is my 6 spokes, but this time I'm going to erase the bottom and the top, and I'm left with a square. Is it coming up to a point? No, so it's square planar, and they're still 90 degrees. Okay. Let's kind of see what's going on here. Actually, let's kind of practice a couple. Let me throw a couple shapes out and see how you do. So if I have, let's say, 3 lone pair and 2 bonding groups. What's the shape? So if you said, oh, 3 plus 2 is 5, this is the basic shape for 5. What am I going to do? I'm going to erase 3 of them, and it is linear. Let's try another one. How about 2 lone pair and 2 electron groups? Or I should say bonding groups. I'm sorry, bonding groups. What's the shape? All right, so if you have 2 plus 2 is 4, it's tetrahedral. What are you going to do next? You're going to erase 2 of them, and it is bent. So that's how you play the game, and that's probably what we're going to be doing in class. All right, let's go on to the next one. So problem number 4, suppose that a molecule with 6 electron groups are confined to 2 dimensions and therefore has a hexagonal planar electron geometry. If 2 of those 6 groups are lone pairs, where would they be located? Which ones did we erase? If you said 1 and 4, you are correct. Okay, top and bottom. Problem number 5, which statement is always true according to Vesper? Look through this and tell me what you think. So I'll give you a few minutes, or not a minute. I'll give you a little bit of time. Decide what you think. Circle what you think. I hope you got D, and hopefully that's it. Okay, so go back, practice that, practice visualizing yourself. We'll probably be practicing some of this in class as well. So I'm going to stop it here, and I'll start 10.4 fresh.